There's so much that I want to get to today. It is just insane. And obviously, the biggest news of the day is what has happened or transpired yesterday when we found out that the President Trump or former President Trump would be charged with 3 more crimes. I'm going to do something a little differently because I'm not going to continue to act like Pavlov's dog. I'm not going to do it, and I don't think that we should do it anymore. Here's what the left is trying to do. What they want to do is try to take our top candidate out by a slow drip, 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 drip campaign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see their drip, drip, and I'm going to raise them a drip, drip, drip. And what we're going to do is expose the Biden administration for who they are. We're going to expose the corrupt Democrat Party for who they are. Here's my thing. Stay on offense. Always, always, always stay on offense. You know, years ago, I may have told you guys this story. I know I've shared it on with Prager's audience. I know I've shared it with Officer Tatum's audience, but I went through a custody battle years ago, and I got some great advice from my buddy Alex Ortiz that told me, because he had gone through a similar situation, Carl, always stay on offense. Always be the squeaky wheel, even when it comes to your attorney. You're going to deal with all of these emotions. You're going to be dealing with, every single day, you're going to see your ex. And this was BC, guys. This was before Christ. So don't get, all bent out of shape. All right. But I was doing a lot of stupid stuff when I was younger, and I ended up paying the price for some of those things that I did. But a lot of those things that I paid the price for taught me some valuable lessons. And one of the lessons that I had to learn, that if I was going to be a father in a court system that at that period of time just highly disfavored fathers, I don't care what you did, you have to stay on offense. And I was determined to fight for my little girl. I was determined that I was going to be a father, despite the fact that there was a court system that was overwhelming, a court system that I frankly believed in because I was very liberal minded in my thinking at the time, that was not very friendly when it came to fathers. It was absolutely insane to me. But thank God I had a great attorney in Neva Gallagher that I could not afford, that literally allowed me to make payments when she had never done that before. She's an amazing attorney right here in Orlando. She might be retired at this point. I haven't looked her up in a few years. But anyway, she was a wonderful family attorney, one of the best in all of Orlando, and I would argue in Florida. And she agreed after hearing my case that she would take it on and allow me to make payments and allow me to do some of the work. Her paralegal would have me literally do some of the work. But the reason why I liked her, because I had gone through other attorneys, is her attitude was, we're going to win, we are going to be pit bulls, and you're going to get your time with your daughter. All right? That was her attitude. That isn't always the case with attorneys. But a valuable lesson I learned from Alex Ortiz and I learned from Neva Gallagher was, at the time, was always, always, always stay on offense. So I'm going to talk to you about open borders. I'm going to talk to you about the Trump case and the Trump charges because I want you to be informed. But you know what we're not going to do? We're not going to marinate there because we know what they're doing to Trump. We know this is a drip, drip, drip campaign. We know this is all a bunch of nonsense. You know that there'll be other indictments coming in the future, and all of this is a way of distracting from the real criminal that's actually sitting in the White House right now. See, we're calling the Hunter Biden plea deal fell apart. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. It wasn't that the Hunter Biden plea deal. All right, technically that's what happened. All right, so technically the Hunter Biden plea deal fell apart. But what happened was the drip, drip, drip campaign for Joe Biden just began. Do you understand how the Democrats are going nuts right now because they know that there's going to be this drip, drip, drip campaign? Now we can talk about, which Kevin McCarthy is, this impeachment inquiry. So with this impeachment inquiry, it's not an impeachment, it's an inquiry. We can start investigating. We can get a little deeper. And right now the media are doing their absolute best to try to ignore and try to not share the Hunter Biden story, the Joe Biden corruption stories. They are doing their damnedest. They didn't even show the whistleblowers last week. Gary Shapley and Joseph Ziegler, courageous whistleblowers that came out on behalf of the IRS. They didn't talk about the FD 1023 form that Senator Chuck Grassley showed us and exposed Christopher Wray, the FBI director, for the fraud that he is. No, they're trying to wipe all of that underneath the rug. But the bad news is that Joe Biden was dealt a blow when his cohort, when his business partner was not allowed to get away with, at least for now. Now, I do have to warn you guys, I don't think anybody's going to jail. Maybe Hunter somewhere down the line. But let's not fool ourselves. I don't think anyone is going to jail. But this is going to benefit us politically. I just want you to understand that. And that's got to be okay. Because our goal is to save the country. Our goal is to take the country back. So if they want to do a drip, drip, drip campaign with our leading candidate, all right, let's do a drip, drip, drip campaign with theirs. But I want you to remember this thing. Always, 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 always stay on offense. On Mike Gallagher's show today, we're going to stay on offense. I'm going to talk to you about the corrupt Biden family, the Biden crime family in this first hour. We're going to talk about a little global warming. Guys, I'm sick and tired of the Republican Party not fighting back against this man-made global warming. Did you know they want to call it global boiling to try to freak people out even more now? And we're not talking about that. And then they're trying to make all of these EVs that won't even work well when you're traveling far distances or when the temperatures are really hot and child labor is involved, overseas, and these batteries are extremely toxic. But you even have Republicans that embrace this man-made global warming, global boiling now, according to the World Economic Forum, global boiling nonsense. We have these, I don't care if you like EVs, none of my business, but what I want to stop is this nonsense that we need to make EVs to save the planet when they're more dangerous, frankly, for the planet than regular fossil fuel vehicles, internal combustion engines. It is just a sham. And I'm tired of Republicans that are going on defense. Speaking of going on defense, because this is another subject that we'll touch. Byron Donalds. I love Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds is a great congressman. I did not even hear the news. I was able to tune into Mike for just a few minutes yesterday between work and all this kind of stuff. And I heard him talk about the Byron Donalds story. I had not even heard about that. I flipped my wig, and that's virtually impossible because I don't even have hair. But I flipped my wig because I love Byron Donalds. But let me say this. He put us in a precarious position. He put us on the defense where we should always be on offense. Never, never, ever, ever go on defense. Do you understand me? Listen, my Republican, my conservative colleagues, my friends, my homies in the audience, don't ever go on defense against the communists that exist in the White House. We are not dealing with your everyday Democrat Party. Those days are over. We are dealing with straight up commies. You never give them an inch. You never give them an inch. And I'm afraid that Byron Donalds gave them a mile. He gave them a mile. And we'll talk about that. I love him, but we got to scold him a little bit today. Carl Jackson in for Mike Gallagher.